Before we start the video, quick announcement. This month, through Patreon, you can join for just $7 instead of $10 and gain access to my server, which includes notes, weekly lessons, and more. Your support helps fund thumbnails, editing, and other content. Jazakumullah khair. Now, let's get back to the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, guys? Hope you guys been well. Hope your Ramadan's been well. Making the most of your Ramadan. Inshallah. Guys, before we start this live, W Bake sesh on Avery earlier. Bro, I need that recording. He was speaking to a revert Muslim about Justin Martyr. When me and Libiano come on, he's like, no, I want to speak about a different topic. Was Jesus a Muslim? Was Jesus a Muslim? Like, come on, dude. Yeah, inshallah, I'm gonna upload it tomorrow, inshallah. I'm getting it edited. Or not edited. Right now I'm getting the thumbnail made, and then I'm gonna edit it tonight, inshallah. Could someone please sponsor me subscription for the Discord? I will let the people know on the Discord, inshallah. Yeah, guys, so this offer is about to end. I've been adding a bunch of stuff to the server. And yeah, it won't go back to $7 a month for the foreseeable future. Like, I don't think I'll be bringing it back for that price anytime soon. Oh, that prophecy of Deuteronomy 33? Maybe in the future, inshallah. Where can I watch that? I'm gonna upload it, inshallah. It's really interesting. It's on Justin Martyr and Mark 10:18, so yeah, it's very relevant to what we've been saying usually. Okay, are you a Muslim, somebody in the back chat? You are, okay. Allah, okay, you want, just give me 1 second, okay? Yeah, there's only 2 days left for it. So I might leave it for a bit longer after Ramadan, just a bit longer, right? But yeah, pretty much a couple days after Ramadan, the subscription will be no longer available. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
How are you, akhi?
I mean, am I up in the panel?
Yep.
Yeah, that's me. How are you, brother? It has been a while, isn't it?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Repeat that.
How are you, brother? How are you doing?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Hopefully you're good as well.
just asking what's the topic of like the stream?
Yeah, so the streams we've been doing is like trying to ask Christians to defend the Trinity. And my main points against the Trinity will be that no one believed in it for pretty much the first 300 years. They held to an idea of Jesus being like a lesser deity.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, got
Yeah.
it. To be honest, but you know, like the question is like this idea of like be the son is equal to
To
the
the Father.
father. Yeah, like
Mm.
I mean, I forgot what's the exact term for it, but you know, like
Homoousios. Or co-equal.
yeah, equality or something like this.
Yeah.
Like this creed, I mean, did it come as a response to the Arian heresy, or like was it like predicted before? For example, I've heard, I mean, like the ones who were with the creed of Nicaea, like they believed in it before the Arians, weren't they? Or like,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. But it
or
wasn't so what we say isn't that it was made up on the spot in Nicaea. No, like someone would have thought about it, someone would have taught it, people would have agreed, and it would have been developed. But what we say is that like that doctrine, that very doctrine of co-equality, does Justin Martyr teach it? No. Irenaeus? No. Hippolytus? No. Theophilus? No. Origen? No. Tertullian? Like all these guys? No. So like even if there's a couple people for Nicaea, 320, 310, 315, like around 300, if they're all teaching it, I don't really care. That doesn't affect my point, because our point is that there are there are a span of 300 around 300 years, about 250 to 300 years, I'd say, where definitely none of the prominent church fathers ever taught Nicene Trinitarianism. And we can show that they believe you should only worship the Father. They believe Jesus has less knowledge. He has less goodness. He's not eternal as a person. He existed inside of God as his word, as his kalam. Then he begot him in a time, like how Neoplatonism is, right?
Mm.
So that's what they believe. They didn't believe in this Trinity.
So I mean, would it be legit to say that uh like the co-equality like came as a response to Arianism? Like,
No, I think people. Well, as a response, I'm not too sure about the historicity of it, but all I do know is that those that came before have a lot more Arian tendencies than Trinitarian tendencies.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah, yeah.
but they didn't say that Jesus was created. You know, the pre the pre-Nicene ones, like they didn't say
It
that he
depends what
was.
you mean. No, no. Like Tertullian says, he was created.
Is there a reference for it?
Yeah, actually, it's on my server. I think you're asking about it in the back chat. Like you're
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
something about my server. Yeah.
yeah,
So when would you stop this one? Okay. So you're asking that. Are you asking when the special for the subscription will end?
yeah,
So in about a week's time.
yeah. And thank you. That's the main question that I came here for. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So here I'll give you the reference now. But all these references I have on the church fathers. Okay, are you like new to my channel, or is have you been watching me?
No, I've been following you like a new crew for a while. For example, I've been following the Orthodox Muslim.
Oh
I
yeah.
was following that like the new the like the rookies, you know, like you. So like I
Mhm.
mean, to be honest, I know the views that you have is like very nuanced and very developed. Like if you compare to to some like all like you know Dawa, for example. I mean the ideas that you know like trying to to inquire about the origins of Trinity or like these kind of things are a good argument. You know, they are very sensical. That's the thing that I liked about like like the new ones. For example, Brother Orthodox Muslim and that one dialogue and new Brother Dean and the others. You know, and Islamic Apex as well. So like, I mean, you're doing a good job. That's the only thing that I liked about this the only thing that pushed me to like to have like the tendency to join your server, you know.
Jazakallah khair.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so like I appreciate the support and everything, but
mm,
also it seems like you're interested in these quotes and so on. Like all the quotes I put on my server, akhi, it's one of the main incentives people go on there for. Well, like for example here, like you asked me who says that Tertullian. They like to say he's a Trinitarian, but he literally said what I was saying. He says, let Hermogenes then confess that the very wisdom of God is declared to be born and created, for the special reason that we should not suppose that there is any other being than God alone who is unbegotten and uncreated. So he says,
Uh,
no one's unbegotten and uncreated except for the Father.
I see. I see. Yeah. So I mean, that's legit. That's legit.
The reference for this is it's here against
Against.
Hermogenes chapter 18.
So like, I mean, you can say that, I mean, to be honest, I don't want to take your time since there's another people who are waiting in the panel.
No, take your time, Akhi. It's okay.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you are saying that Arianism was, like, according to like early Christian church fathers, was closer in terms of creed than the Nicene ones. Is this what you're
Definitely, yeah.
saying? I
Yeah.
see.
And then there's even an added layer to this, Akhi. Like Nicaea is about Jesus. Then there was a council that came after, like 40 years after, about the Holy Spirit. And then we have a church father at that council saying, there's ikhtilaf on what the Holy Spirit is, and we're trying to find out. Like they're trying to agree on it.
You are talking about semi-Arians, the ones who believe that like the Holy Spirit is lesser than the two deities are. Yeah, I mean it's another view. Yeah. But like, is it like I just want to ask about apostolic succession. Like, is it like legit to say that Arian didn't have like apostolic succession, but the others had? So like they are more legit to be followed than the other ones. Like
If they had apostolic succession, and they believe the apostles taught the Trinity, then this very thing we're bringing refutes apostolic succession. Do you understand?
Yeah, but I've heard like a lot of like lay Christians says, like layman Christians, they say, like they were looking for it, like they were just figuring it up,
No, akhi.
Mm.
That's such a stupid excuse. I'll tell you why. Okay, I'll give Irenaeus for example. One example is Irenaeus. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, Irenaeus, yeah, the 100, yeah, the one who was born in 120, if I'm mistaken.
Yep, that's right. Yep, yep. Now, Irenaeus apparently has apostolic succession from Polycarp, and Polycarp is also a church father for them. And they believe John taught Polycarp. Okay, let's grant that. There's one person between the author of John and Irenaeus, which is Polycarp, apparently. So, granting all that, have a look at this. Does Irenaeus know that Yahweh is all knowing?
Yeah, I believe he does. Yeah, you are talking
does,
about
of course.
the ignorance of the Son, aren't you? Or going
Of course. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to show here, and you just play devil's advocate as a Christian right now. What I'm trying to show here is that that's such a stupid excuse, because you can't have a other bajahil on this matter when you're talking about who the hell God is, man. Like, come on.
Yeah,
So, like,
but but to be honest, I've seen like an Eastern Orthodox who came to you and then he said like it's legit to say that the Son didn't know the hour. Like it's legit. It's not. You don't. You
it's not
don't.
legit.
You don't cope with it. There's a lot of. I mean, I
No,
believe
no,
they
no,
are.
no. Akhi, they can cope with anything. Their copes are rubbish. So, for example, does Irenaeus ever mention the human nature there?
I'm not sure. I believe
He doesn't. So, Akhi, when you tell me that Orthodox guy comes and tells me, oh, blah, 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 the Orthodox guy is just reading into Irenaeus. Irenaeus never mentions the human nature. Irenaeus says the very Son of God didn't know the hour, so we should be satisfied with not knowing things. Showing Jesus as the very Son of God, a being that has high knowledge, even he doesn't know something. Never does he mention the human nature. So, like, even if like whatever that Orthodox said about human nature, blah blah blah, no, like Irenaeus doesn't say that. They're just reading into it. So going back to what I was saying before, if Irenaeus believes Jesus is Yahweh, and Irenaeus believes Yahweh knows everything, then how can he have an excuse about believing God doesn't know something? Like, come on.
I see. Got your point. Yeah. So like it disproves the apostolic succession by itself.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, but in terms of isnad, like, is it like legit to
No,
claim that?
their isnads come 400 years after by Eusebius.
Even the popes, I believe that they have like strong one, as far as I can tell.
Popes maybe not like early on.
I'm
Like
talking
I
about
don't know.
The Roman popes, the popes of Rome.
Allahu alam. Like I don't know much about popes or Catholics in that respect. But I'm not gonna act like I know something I don't. But what I do know is Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. They are they are false on grounds outside of this. Like for example, as a Eastern Orthodox and a Catholic, they can't believe Jesus didn't know the hour. They have to believe Jesus knew it, like in his human nature as well.
Yeah, I know that they are trying to cope with it. Yeah,
No, not just cope with it, akhi. If you don't believe Jesus knows the hour in his human nature, you're a heretic, according to
according to
Catholics.
Catholics.
Yeah,
I see.
I have references for that in my past
Yeah, but
videos.
like how would you deal with Athanasius, who said literally that his son doesn't know the hour?
What they say is, okay, on this respect, I guess maybe they have more of an other because they're trying to figure out what the whatever. That's different. But they would say Athanasius was wrong. Yeah, they would say that after it's deemed heretical, khalas, you're a heretic if you believe that. But really, just reading the text itself and looking at what the early fathers said, it shows that this dogmatic position the Catholics have is just very false. Like it's completely ad hoc. It's completely brand new. It's not something that the early Christians would have believed. Because from the text, the natural reading of what the authors meant is clearly knowledge, because the context and everything. And also Irenaeus, and as you mentioned, Athanasius, they both say, yeah, literally he doesn't know.
Yeah,
So they're conflicting with their earliest understandings. They're conflicting with their Salaf. On top of that, they are conflicting with the context of the passage.
I see.
So if a pope is saying, "Oh, I have apostolic succession. This interpretation is dogmatic," bro, we could just look at history to see if it is apostolic in origin. It's not.
So like you disprove the chain of chain of posts by proving that they don't have the same their theology developed. Is this the way to
Yes,
how you disprove
the
it?
the theology has developed from because how do we know what the author of Mark meant by "No one knows the hour but the Father"? How are we meant to know that? How are we meant to know his intentions of what he
Uh,
means in that verse?
I see. And how, to be honest, I mean, how would they deal with Luke when he said, I mean, in Luke when he didn't know the season of the fig tree? Like, is it
No,
or
no, no.
like
That one. To be honest, actually, that one is a bit weak. It's a bit weak because the fig tree incident, I think it is like a parable. Like some people they use that as a prophecy for Islam. The fig tree is when he curses the fig tree, he's cursing the Jews that were represented by the fig tree, the
no?
Jews that will then be replaced by the Muslims. So it's possible to interpret that as a parable. I don't mind saying that. But one problematic passage from Luke is Luke 2:52. Jesus grew in
Yeah,
wisdom.
yeah, exactly.
Come
This
on,
is the one that was going to talk about. How do they deal with it?
mental gymnastics, akhi, mental gymnastics.
Like they would say that wisdom is not like knowing, or like is this the
Yeah,
way?
they'll change what the word means, or they say that they have this idea that Jesus knows everything a human can possibly know at his ages. So, for example, when he's a baby, he knows everything a baby could possibly know. And then once he's like at the age of 10, he knows everything a little boy can possibly know. Then when he grows in wisdom, yeah, like when he reaches adulthood, khalas, like he can know everything possibly a human can know. I think that's how one person explained it to me, like something like that. Again, what you said as well, they'll say wisdom means something else, blah blah blah. Yeah,
That's the only thing that I would just like trying to I would just trying to make it like trying to play the devil advocate, and I was like thinking how would they deal with it. I mean, and they will say like they will differentiate between wisdom and knowledge,
yeah.
So
The Protestants have a stronger case here because they actually admit, yeah, like Jesus doesn't have high wisdom, he doesn't know the hour, but then they just say, oh, human nature. So yeah, but the fact that Christians they want to say he doesn't know, but then they just say it's the human nature, that shows you that that's the zahir of the text. The zahir of the text is that he doesn't know, or that he grows in wisdom.
yeah.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
this brother says, sorry, Akhi, yeah, go ahead. You can ask
yeah.
one more.
Yeah. By the way, like, have you ever heard of what the teacher of Augustine, Bishop of Milan, and Ambrose?
Numbers of Milan, yep, yep.
He said that the
They
Mark the
added
third
it.
Yeah, it's an addition. So like
No,
he
not not
literally,
not Mark. Akhi. Akhi, be careful, be careful. He doesn't say Mark.
yeah.
He says the one in Matthew.
What?
Because there's Mark and Matthew for that, right?
Yeah, Mark 13 to 20 or to
32, 32. Yeah.
32. Yeah, yeah.
So he doesn't say Mark. Akhi. Mark. No one says that was like. No one says that someone added nor the son in that one. What they do say is Matthew. They say Matthew. Someone added nor the son because the manuscripts they differed. But Mark, no. Like I don't know anyone that says Mark was added. No.
Uh, I believe like I was talking with the with the professor in Mecca. He's Muqis Saqar. You know, have you heard about him? He's like a
He's a professor.
professor.
You said.
Yeah, professor. He is
Yep.
professor at comparative religions.
Yep. Okay. I don't know
You know,
him,
I was
but
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah, he is like he's like, you know, he's a great debater. You know, but in the Arab sphere, not in the Franco
Right.
or Anglo sphere. You know,
Right.
I mean, I was asking him about this passage, and then he said that Ambrose said this passage is an addition, or like I was just going to ask him, could you send me the reference, but I didn't have the time for it
I have the
because like
reference
I
on my
was.
channel. Okay. I have the reference on my channel.
Yeah, so like I believe it's stacked. Not gonna lie, your Discord is very stacked. I mean, to be honest, it's gold mine. Anyways, you know, the thing is, you know, I was asking him about what the who's that guy? Theodosius the Great. Like he tried to interpret Mark 13 to 23. You know, have you seen him how he interpreted it? Theodosius the Great.
No. Explain it.
You know, he said, you know, like the same way how, you know, even like, you know, that guy Jay Dyer, he literally said, he literally like goes his interpretation. He said, you know, like it's a hyperbole because he was just trying to link it with other verse, for example.
Yeah. So the issue with that is, actually try to send me that because hyperbole doesn't work there.
Let,
How
let me
does
let
that
me
work?
let me send
Yeah,
you.
go
Let me
ahead.
send you. Because I have it in my.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, as well, you can take this reference now. Well, in the meantime, before I bring up this reference, I was meaning to respond to this person. So Dean responds, "What is the correct response to John 20:28, which I've heard some Christians use to try and prove Jesus' divinity?" So even if we say, yeah, Thomas is calling Jesus God, we say, yeah, like John, the Gospel of John calls Jesus God in John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Calling Jesus God doesn't mean he's the same God as the Father or he's equal to the Father. The early church fathers that I was bringing up before, Justin Martyr, all these people, Irenaeus, they call Jesus God. But what they mean is a lesser divinity, not the same type of divinity as the Father. Okay, so even if we concede, yeah, he's calling him God, he has to prove that it's the God that's the same type of God as the Father, because you can't just isolate John 20:28, John 17:3. The Father is the only true God. So we have the Father who's the only true God, and Jesus who's a lesser God. And then you have also in John 14:28, Jesus says, "My Father is greater than I." Okay, so when you have these passages, and when you have these early Christians interpreting these passages the same way I'm interpreting them, it shows you that Jesus is a lesser God according to John. Okay, so that's the response I would give to that. Now, Echi, I'm gonna before you bring up that reference from me, this is the reference from Ambrose. Okay, so
with
if you want to screenshot that, it's there.
Yeah.
1 second, sorry, it's covered. All right, there you go.
Yeah, he is great. Yeah, I found it. Let me just
Okay.
on the.
Hyperbole only works with Matthew because if you're using Matthew's text that says no one knows the hour but the Father, that could be hyperbole for everyone, sure. But when you say um, Mark can be hyperbole, that makes no sense. You can't use hyperbole and then exclude a particular individual in that hyperbole. That makes no sense. Actually, I think Basil says the same thing as the guy that you wanted to show. Let me pull it up. 1 second.
To be honest, let me just. Because to be honest, I asked I asked the Sheikh live, so I believe like I will find it. I will find the video, and then I will. I mean, to be honest, I was ready in terms of references, so it would take me some time.
No worries, Akhi, no worries, no worries. Actually, here you can benefit from this reference. I'm gonna share it to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me bring to you letter 236. Okay. So if we go to letter 236, we go to where's this one? I would want to compare what Basil says to what the person you said. And guys, besides the Patreon, where you get access to my server right now, there's a GoFundMe that covers my editing costs and clip costs, because inshallah I want to push out content on TikTok and Instagram as well as YouTube Shorts. So for that I need to hire a clip maker. So yeah, the GoFundMe is there for if you want to support that.
Brother, I've sent you the link. I've sent you the link.
Yeah. So where's this person from?
It's Basil of Caesarea. He's a church father.
Actually, that's the one I have. That's the one I have with me right now.
He was just trying to link he was just trying to link it with
hyperbole. No, I know.
Yeah.
Actually, don't worry. I've read this before. Okay, here.
So like J Dyer, like it's his go-to like answer to this.
Wait, but let me tell you something. Actually, you know how stupid he is. J Dyer. I was gonna make a video on this ages ago, but I forgot to. Okay, watch how dumb this guy is. Watch this. Okay, so 1 second. Let's read it, right? So he says, first of all, Basil's Matthew. Basil thinks Matthew literally doesn't have nor the Son, by the way. Because look at this. It would be worthy of your diligence to set the phrases of the gospel side by side and compare together those of Matthew and those of Mark. For these two alone are found in concurrence in this passage. The wording of Matthew is, of the day and hour knows no man, not the angels, but my Father only. He doesn't have nor the Son there. You see that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And then he says in Mark, no one knows nor the Son. What is noticeable in these passages is this, that Matthew says nothing about the ignorance of the Son. But that's not true. We know that today. That's not true. And seems to agree with Mark as to the sense, my Father only. Now, I understood the word only to have been used in contradistinction to the angels, but that the Son is not included within his own servant's ignorance. So he says, yeah, it includes the angels, but it doesn't include the Son because of what's said in Matthew.
Yeah.
So he gives precedence to Matthew. Now watch this. He could not say what is false, who said all things that the Father has are mine.
Yeah,
but one of the things which the Father has is knowledge of the day and hour. So you see how he's doing ta'wil of that verse. He's going to a verse that's mutashabih to justify something that's muhkam. Yeah. To go against something that's muhkam.
Yeah,
that's
but but the question is like, is it like do they have these terminologies that we have as Muslims?
So one time, sorry.
Do you have these terminologies of muhkam mutashabih? Like,
no, brother. This is common hermeneutics for. It's just common sense. You take clear passages to inform your understanding of ambiguous ones, and the ambiguous passages you don't read them by themselves and read that into the muhkam. That's something every scholar agrees with. Like, if I tell you something clear, then I tell you something unclear that seems to contradict it, then you have to reinterpret what my unclear statements are. You don't reinterpret my clear statement. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So in the passage in Matthew, then the Lord had made no mention of his own person as a matter beyond controversy, and said that the angels knew not, and that his Father alone knew, tacitly asserting the knowledge of his Father to be his own knowledge too. because of what he said elsewhere. Then he makes that wheel of another verse, right? And then he says, and if the Father has complete knowledge of the Son, nothing excepted, so that he knows all things to dwell in him, he will clearly be known as fully by the Son with all his inherent wisdom and all his knowledge of things to come. This modification, I think, may be given to the words Matthew, but my Father only. Now, as to the words of Mark, who appears distinctly to exclude the Son from knowledge. So, okay, watch this. Basil says the explanation for Matthew is that it's general. It's a general saying that only the Father knows, but it doesn't include the Son because of these other verses, right?
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I got you. So like,
No,
I mean,
wait, but watch this. This is where Jay Dyer gets cut, right?
yeah.
Because he doesn't know that Basil doesn't use this explanation for Mark. The hyperbole point only works in Matthew because it doesn't say nor the Son. So watch what he says for Mark. He gives a completely ad hoc explanation. He says, "No man knows, neither the angels of God." So let me start from here actually.
Yeah.
Now, as to the words of Mark, who appears distinctly to exclude the Son from the knowledge, my opinion is this: no man knows, neither the angels of God, nor yet the Son would have known unless the Father had known. Yeah, and what's
Bruh.
that? What is that?
That's completely. He's changing the text. He's not doing it with.
Bro,
He's
this
completely. Yeah.
literally changing the text, right? And this
Yeah.
is what J. Dyer doesn't speak about. He just speaks about the first part, but the first part is only about Matthew. Basil's interpretation of Mark is this like nonsense, you know?
So like like the interpretation of that is hyperbole, which is the interpretation of Matthew. Like it's not about it's like when he compared like the when you like he said nothing is good except the Father, or like the other verse that if you are tempted to do.
Habibi, even that is not hyperbolic, but I get what you're saying, yeah. But go on.
So it's just for the explanation from Matthew, not Mark.
Because yes, it's only for Matthew for not Mark.
Oh, I
Because
see. I see.
let me give you an example of why it works for Matthew and not Mark, right? So
Yeah.
if I say to you, um, no one knows. Well, if let's say I basically say generally, if I make a general statement and I say no one knows the day I was born, right? But my mother and father know the day I was born. Okay. Now, if I say no one knows the day I was born, right? I could say that in a general way, in a sense where my father and my mother are not included. I could say generally, most people don't know, so I say no one knows. But when I say now, no one knows, not you, Akhi, not the other people in the life, not my father, not my mother. That's no longer a general statement. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because now I'm excluding my mother and father for that knowledge. Uh, so that's why Mark can't work as a general statement and Matthew can, because Matthew he says a general statement. Sure, if we grant that, let's say we grant that a
Yeah.
general statement, but in that general statement, he still says explicitly the angels don't know. That's why, if you go up here, here, what is noticeable in these passages is that Matthew says nothing about the ignorance of the Son, and right. So
Yeah.
so he's interpreting that the ignorance here is attributed to the angels and it's attributed to the people. But yeah, then he reinterprets Mark. But regardless, let me show you the rest of his opinion there. He says Mark means no man knows, neither the angels of God nor yet the Son would have known unless the Father had known. That is, the cause of the Son's knowledge comes from the Father. To a fair hearer, there's no violence in this interpretation. Yeah, right, bro. Like he already anticipates someone's going to dispute it. That's why he's saying,
Yeah.
if someone's fair, then they should say this is okay. But he didn't say that for Matthew's interpretation, but he says it for Mark, right? Because
Yeah.
he knows it's hard to believe. Because the word only is not added as in Matthew. So his justification to interpret Mark in this convoluted way is because only and nor the Son isn't in Matthew. But we know it is in Matthew.
I see.
So that's his justification gone, you know? And then
Yeah.
Mark's sense then is as follows: of the day and hour knows no man, no angels heaven, but even the Son would have known if the Father had not known, for the knowledge naturally was given by the Father. This is very decorous and becoming the divine nature to the Son, because he was given knowledge, da 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 da. But then after that, blah blah blah. He doesn't talk about it anymore. Yeah.
I see. So yeah, I mean, this is the part that I was just looking for. Okay, like I mean, to be honest, I was watching a video. I mean, a debate between brother Jake and Jay Dyer. Like, you know,
Yep.
when somebody asked him in the chat about this verse, he said, you know, I just take the interpretation of Basil. So
Basil.
like,
He doesn't even know Basil's interpretation.
yeah. That's to be honest. To be honest, I just had the page and like I've heard what he said and tried to interpret, but I didn't like read it. It's just, you know, I just saw it to be condensed. You know, and so like this reason why it was not like you. I just like took his words and then this only enough.
Akhi, never take these guys. They don't know what the hell they're reading. I'm telling you for now. But me, I'm not even saying this to boast or anything or to blow my own trumpet. I don't know of any Christian that would not be able to fold in a debate with me about these fathers about pre-Nicaea. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone in here. William Albright, Sam Shamoon, Inspiring Philosophy, Jay Dyer. You get them in the ring with me, one-on-one formal debate, they'll fold. They'll fold and they'll say all these weird interpretations because they haven't actually read them. I've read them. I've actually taken the time to read them. Alhamdulillah, like that's why I do the Patreon and I do the Discord server. It allows
Yeah,
me to take my time and do these things, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
May Allah have you, brother. If you want to know, like I like, yeah, are you present in that server? Like, you know, when somebody pops in
Oh,
VC.
very present, very present. Yeah. Like,
So
but I don't go into VC. What I do is like today, before I came live here, I was live on an open panel for anyone on the server to come on for an hour. I do that every week. And then every Saturday we do lessons on polemical stuff. Like next month, inshallah, I'm gonna do a PowerPoint live where you can ask me Q&As on the live of this topic of the pre-Nicene fathers. Also, there's a questions tab. Anytime you have a question, you can ask me. I almost always reply within a day. So yeah, that's
yeah,
the perks for the server. Yeah.
yeah. Thank. I mean, one last question. I believe that Wako, like the brother Wako, is waiting. Is
No, no,
waiting for something. Yeah,
no, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Akhi.
yeah,
If someone has questions and they want to ask me, take your time, and then brother Wako, he can have as much time as he likes as well. No worries, no rush.
yeah. I mean, since there's no if like a Christian will appear, I mean, I will leave like
Of course, I'll let you know if that's the case. Yeah.
yeah. The question is like I forgot. Yeah, subhanallah. Subhanallah. I mean, I lost my chain of thoughts. You know, when I was going to say that La ilaha illa Rasulullah. I forgot. Subhanallah. It was very important. I can't lie. Yo, the heck.
It's
Subhanallah, I
okay.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
No worries.
let me just remember. Subhanallah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, like as a side point, that refutation deserves a video, like about what Jay Dyer said. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, akhi, and then that was a time where I actually forgot to do it still. But that was at a time where like I was getting no funding, no nothing. But inshallah, because now I have the time and you brought it to my attention, definitely I'll consider it. Like soon, I'll make a refutation video on him. I'll show his ignorance on it, and yeah. If you can, akhi, if you come on the server, just timestamp that video where he says that response, and then I'll expose him, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that he's. I mean, as far as I can remember, he said it in three debates. Like I believe it
Three
was
debates.
with
Well,
yeah with brother Jake and another one with Muslim Lantern. I was like just wondering, and then I saw that video. He gave that response.
wait, akhi, if you can send me both times, um, inshallah, then yeah, I'll definitely play them and I'll show these guys. Just like the thing is, Muslim Lantern and Jake, they don't read Basil, so they won't know he's lying.
I see. So yeah. By the way, like, is there like a book like that every like current denomination agree on about Nicene Christianity that is a summary of
The church
of,
fathers before.
no, of the Trinity itself, like, you know, the summary of like, or like, you know, summary that every Nicene Christian agree on. I mean, regardless if he is a Thomist or a Coptic Orthodox, or, you know, like
Not sure, akhi, you're gonna have to ask them for that. To be honest.
um, to be honest, yeah, because like the problem is like I just want to like to give like I'm doing a I mean I'm collaborating with one of my brother about about some allegations about like about the allegations that they try to insert our views in our scripture, and then I was just, I mean, to be honest, before like going through the shubha itself, we just need to define what it means. So like that's why we are looking for, I mean, like a book that describes the Trinity itself, a summary, not like not like
To be honest, Akhi, I haven't read anything on that. I just hear what the Christians describe it, and I see all of them conformity with each other. So, well, from what I know, just three persons, one being. The Father is the one that begets. The Spirit is spirated either from the Son or from the Father, depending if
yeah,
you're Eastern or Catholic. Like I know these general. You don't need to know it in detail. You just need to have this general outline of what they believe.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Is it like legit to bring it? I mean, this page. I mean, let me just send you what Augustine said in his on Trinity, his book. It's very condensed about the Trinity. He said, "Are we therefore from the testimony of the Lord, both to call the Father the one true God, and the Son the one true God, and the Holy Spirit the one true God, and the Father the Son and the Holy Spirit together? That is the Trinity itself together, not three true gods, but one true God." Is it legit? Like to say that this is what the Trinity is like, or is it
Yeah,
like,
that's the Augustinian view. Yeah, they say the Trinity is the true God, so the Father is the true God, the Son is the true God. But that conflicts with like Irenaeus and other church fathers. Actually, give me 1 second. Sorry. So, Amanda, the reason why I don't have a moderated debate on crucifixion is, um, first of all, I don't specialize in that. Secondly, I can concede to you that all Christians believe Jesus was crucified. That does nothing to Islam. Ibn Taymiyyah says in Jawab Sahih, he says that even if the disciples believed that, that wouldn't undermine their Islam. Believing your prophet died on the cross doesn't mean anything. It doesn't entail divinity and all these things. And what I want to get a debate in, a formal moderate debate in, is whether the early church fathers were Trinitarian. And that's much more pertinent. If your doctrine doesn't come out until the 4th century, it's heavily problematic for you. If I concede every Christian believed in the crucifixion in the 1st century, 2nd century, that does nothing. Like the Quran doesn't say that none of the believers didn't believe it. The Quran doesn't say that the believers didn't take the testimony of those that saw it. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't undermine their Islam. But if you believe that Christians in the 1st and 2nd century all didn't believe in the Trinity, that does undermine your religion. So I don't see how that's comparable. But actually, I'll because now there are quite a few Muslims in the backstage. Probably
yeah,
move on, inshallah, and we can keep contact on Discord, inshallah. You're gonna be joining today, right?
inshallah, tomorrow or today? I mean, to be honest,
Or tomorrow?
I
No,
have
no. Where are you from? Where are you from, Akhi?
I'm Algerian from North Africa.
Algeria, no, beautiful. My thumbnail maker is Algeria. You
You're
live in
what?
Algeria? My thumbnail
Yeah,
maker.
you're what? I didn't hear you.
You know what thumbnail is?
Thumbnail. Yeah, thumbnail maker. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
Algerian. From what? Yeah, from what province? Province?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'll ask him, but I don't know if he's in the chat right now. But his name is Ghost. He helps me with all my thumbnails. Alhamdulillah, he's a very good brother.
I still live in Algeria, by the way. So yeah.
He does as well. That's why his internet's so. He was actually gonna edit my videos, but his internet's so bad. So,
Yeah. So we do. So, yeah, but you also know, like, the problem is like I mean, we are watching some swathes of Catholicism in our region. That's why like I'm interested in Christianity. Like,
right.
yeah. So, anyways, so but by the way, before leaving, is it like a legit definition that all the Nicene Christian agree on about the interpretation of Augustine?
No, they won't all agree on that. No.
No.
So some of them will actually say, yeah, only the Father is the true God. Some of them will actually say that. Yeah.
So yeah.
It depends. It depends what model they take. Um. Yeah.
So thank you. I mean, so it's not what I was just looking for. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
No, it's valid. So let's see. Okay, guys, you got to give me a thumbs up. So besides DeAndre, okay, I'm gonna get Brother Abdullah on in a sec. Yeah, bro, just buy my book that I'm gonna I'm gonna make, inshallah. Okay, Abdullah, I'm getting you on. Okay.
السلام
Okay.
عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. How you doing?
Good, alhamdulillah. كيف حالك?
Good, alhamdulillah. What about you? You doing well?
Good, alhamdulillah. I went out with my dad to buy a distasha for Eid.
Wait. People are saying they can't hear you. I think you need to speak a bit louder.
No. I'm not falling.
Yeah, let me change your mic settings. Yeah, speak now.
You know, you gotta stop trolling me. You know, the joking around like this isn't very halal. Well, you could make someone go deaf.
What was your question, Akhi?
Oh, I was just confused. And yesterday, there was another brother, Abdullah, and he was very nice, and he brought up very good point about prophecies of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Bible, and he was very nice. May Allah bless him. But I was very confused because I was giving you thumbs up, and you didn't let me in. I was very confused.
When was this?
Yesterday, you know, Abdullah, it was the last guest. He was a Muslim.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already brought you on yesterday, no?
Yeah, but there were two different Abdullahs. There was me, and then there was Abdullah.
All right. Do you have any questions for today?
Yeah. I just have a question. So, hold on, give me a minute. I'm having a brain fart.
That's okay.
Yeah. All right. So, regarding the debate, so when are you gonna debate Apus on Trinity?
He wouldn't do it.
But he just came out of the closet. You know, he's been closeted Christian for years, and now he came out.
Right. But he's not going to debate. I doubt he's going to use some excuse like, my priest said I can't be debating.
Bruh, he's been debating Muslims for years, and now he's gonna run away like a coward. Some people. Anyways, when are you gonna debate, testify on the reliability of the New Testament?
When he debates me on the early church. Now, I want to debate the early church. I want to debate anything else. Until I debate that, I'm not debating anything else.
Okay, so essentially,
Abdullah,
your term.
Abdullah, should I write a book on it?
Yes, please, bro. You're so academic. Look, I got people calling you Sheikh al-Islam, astaghfirullah, from Bahrain.
Bro. No. Don't do that, bro.
No, from Bahrain. Remember the nice Bahraini brother? He was calling you Sheikh and everything.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but we shouldn't do that. You're not a mufti. You're not an ustad. You're just a da'i.
Yeah, I'm just a da'i. I'm your everyday neighborhood da'i.
Yes, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you and increase you in knowledge. Bro, you there?
Yeah.
I said, may Allah bless you and increase your knowledge.
Sorry, I'm just messaging my thumbnail maker. Amin. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extol you in wings as well.
Hey, Amin, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Hey, you should get the Eid fit before it's too late. They might sell out soon.
Alright, I'm gonna get someone else on right now, okay?
Okay, but wait. Hey, if you publish your book, can I get first dibs? Can you send me a copy personally?
I'll think about it.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Right, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, DeAndre. How you doing?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, akhi?
Alhamdulillah. Yourself?
Alhamdulillah, akhi. Listen, man, if you're at a book, you got to give it to me for free.
Of course.
Yeah. So Jay Dyer, he's like he doesn't even know what a false dilemma fallacy is. So I remember I was watching and I do have a question, by the way. This is kind of like because you were talking about Jay Dyer. Brother Muslim Lantern asked him, were the early church fathers united on Trinitarianism or were they not? And he said, oh, actually, that's a false dichotomy. How?
Were they united on Trinitarianism or were they not? Yeah, so yeah, that's the truth. Unless he's reinterpreting what it means, like maybe he thinks a third is like they have ikhtilaf. I don't know.
But the brother was asking, like, were they united on Trinitarianism or were they not? What's the third option for that?
Yeah, I think there's only two for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you mentioned like, and Jay Dyer also mentions this as well. And like, I don't know about this Basil individual. So who is this Basil or Basil person? Like, what is? Oh, how post Nicaea? Like, a couple years, like 100
decades after.
Oh, decades after. Okay, so like, what works how many works does he have?
A lot. He has a lot. He has
A lot. Okay.
the one I've only read is like parts of his letters because I don't specialize in post-Nicene. I might transition into that when I'm done with anti-Nicene. But DeAndre, did you know that today on this topic of like church fathers and stuff, which I'm gonna upload soon, inshallah, it's going to be a video where like Avery was God Logic. He was running away from me and Libiano, and he actually did our work for us because or pull this up now, DeAndre. Pull up First Apology chapter 16 for Justin Martyr. He brought this up to try and say that
Apology chapter 16.
He was trying to say that Justin Martyr quotes Mark 10:18 here the same way that the manuscripts have it. Tell me when you have it up.
All right. Give me 1 second. And okay. Okay, I have it. Chapter 16. Okay. Yeah, I have it up.
Okay. So this was his point. He was trying to say that in First Apology chapter 16, he was trying to say that Justin Martyr quotes it the same way as the manuscripts that like are from the 4th century. But he's wrong because Justin Martyr, who's the creator of all things according to Justin Martyr? Who does he only call the creator of all things?
Yeah, the Father.
The Father, yeah. And the way that he quotes it here is, no one is good but the one who created everything or something, right? Let me see.
Oh my gosh, there's no way. Hold on.
Yeah, and he was trying to say that the citation is the same as the manuscripts. But in reality, this is a paraphrase. This is actually a paraphrase. Well, the other one isn't. So let's see. Okay. So what I have it in front of me right now, right? So let's go to chapter 16 together. So right here, this is what it says.
Yeah.
It says, and with regard, don't worry about that, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about that. Okay, so chapter 16, Akhi, start from, and that we ought to worship God alone. So start from there. You found that?
Yeah, I'm right here. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, no worries.
Yep.
And so it says, and with regard, and that we ought to worship God alone, he thus persuaded us. The greatest commandment is, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you should serve with all your heart, and the Lord that God that made you. And when a certain man came to him, good master, he answered, there's none good but God only, who made all things. So the way he quotes it is, God who made all things. That's the first thing, not the same thing as the manuscripts. And no one that I know of ever quotes it this way from the church fathers. No one. So how are you going to say this is the original? All of them quote it as, no one's good but the Father, no one's good but thingy, whatever.
Even
they always
Justin quotes it that way.
Even Justin, exactly. So that's another justification.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go. Because I was just gonna say, using Justin to interpret Justin, when he says in his dialogue that only the Father is good, then when he says in his apology that broader statement, we interpret that in light of the explicit, that he's attributing
Exactly.
the attribute of goodness to the Father. So we
And watch
interpret
this.
what's more vague in light of what's more explicit, and so I guess they don't know about
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
to do exegesis or
And
whatever. That's
even
a stupid argument.
and even Justin Martyr in dialogue with Trifo, um, or in all of his texts, he calls the one who made all things and the creator of all things the Father. So even if we didn't have that quote from Mark 10:18 in the other passage, we know that who made all things for Justin is the Father. So it's not the same as the manuscript. And regardless, like, did you know that this is actually a killer argument? He actually inadvertently he gave me another passage from Justin Martyr to use against the Trinitarians. Because Akhi, what did I read at the beginning? We ought to worship God alone. And then he cites Mark 10:18 as referring back to the Father. Who does he think we should be
Oh
worshiping
my
alone?
god, yeah. Subhanallah. I was reading that too. I was like, wait. He says worship God alone. Then he talks about Mark 10:18. But we know he says the Father. So does that mean he should be? But then won't they just say like, oh, that contradicts with like other quotes in his apology where he says that like the Son should be worshipped or whatever?
Yeah, but in that same passage where it says the Son should be worshipped, it says the angel should be as well. It puts in the same category.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. But I think there's a different passage they appeal to.
And the other one that they appeal to, we have to interpret. Well, we're gonna have to interpret in light of this one, and this one's pretty clear. Like, you're meant to worship God the Father alone. And
Yeah.
remember when Jake had that debate with William about this.
Yeah, I remember that.
This would have been perfect for Jake to respond, because he kept saying Latruo. But bro, if Jake used this against him, that would have been a cut. That was the only part of the debate I would say that it needed a bit more like improvement. But obviously Jake, he smashed him for the whole thing. But only that point, I think if Jake had just a bit more justification, which is like this, then that's it. Like, there's no going back, like he doesn't have a response to that.
Yeah, he'd be stuck. But I have a question. So I think you might have made a video about this, but just so is the explanation of like Basil, is it different from like a lot of Christian explanations today? So far as that it involves like ad hoc line of reasoning, or does he like I guess explain it in a way which the Orthodox and Catholic can appeal to, which requires some like level of I guess knowledge to refute?
Yeah, I see Catholics and Eastern Orthodox using it. Yeah, it's actually a traditional view. They say is a possible view. So what they say is, ignorant people that are Catholic and Eastern Orthodox, they'll say you can say Jesus doesn't own his human nature. But the other two views that I know of is the declare one, the Jewish wedding one, which is kind of the same one, and then there's this one, and this one's the worst of them all. Like, and his justification for this view is dependent on Matthew not having nor the Son.
Wait, so then how does he explain that? How does he explain the passage in Mark? What does he say concerning it?
Yeah, so in Mark, Basil explains Mark in light of Matthew. He says because Matthew has nor the Son, then Matthew's trying to say a general statement that doesn't exclude Jesus. And then in Mark, he's trying to say something different when he's talking about what the source of knowledge is and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Oh, so it just doesn't even follow. It's just not an explanation at all.
But his justification to take this approach is, well, if Matthew doesn't put no other Son, then we know that Jesus isn't included in that general statement in Matthew. So we're going to have to square that circle with Mark. So that's his approach, yeah.
I see. Okay, yeah. I think you made a video about Basil, right?
Basil, yeah, I did. But I didn't make one in response to Jay, because Jay used Basil when I spoke to him about this. And he used Basil when he spoke to Jake, and he used Basil when he spoke to Muslim Lantern. But he doesn't know that Basil only says, because his interpretation that Jay relies on is, he says it's a general statement in Matthew. It's a general statement of hyperbole, right? And that is
Okay.
Basil's view on Matthew. But obviously, like what I told the brother before, if I say, DeAndre, no one knows what I'm gonna do tomorrow, right? It's still like that's a general statement. Maybe someone does know, but just like I say, as a general way, no one really knows because most people don't know. But if I say no one knows what I'm gonna do tomorrow, DeAndre, not you, not let's say Muhammad or Ali or all these people, Muhammad, Ali, and DeAndre, even they don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. That's no longer just a general expression. It's a general expression that now includes specific people.
Yeah, it's an
Right.
explicit one now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, even if we concede to him, yeah, okay, Matthew can possibly be a general thing. Even if we concede that, still, you have the problem on Mark that he doesn't address. And Jay doesn't want to take the view of Basil on Mark because Basil literally says the only reason he interprets Mark that way is because he's dependent on um, Matthew's version of saying no, the Son.
So how does he weasel himself out of that one?
Jay,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard his. I'm gonna do the video soon, and then I don't know what his response. I don't think he's read Basil, so he's only read the part where it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess the last question. From your knowledge, do any other post-Nicene fathers do this with problematic biblical passages that would serve as an issue against Trinity or the co-equality of the Father in Christ?
Sorry, Akhi, repeat that one more time.
Yeah, I said like from your knowledge, does any other post-Nicene church father do that with like biblical passages that like gives ad hoc explanations or like
Yeah, Augustine, like Robert Augustine on John 17:3. You have Augustine on Mark 13:32. He gives the Jewish wedding, I think, that Aquinas does as well. John 14:28. There's an ad hoc explanation given by Gregory of Nazianzus in Oration 31. There's a bunch of them. I haven't dug too deep because personally I see and I don't really care. But what I can do is to like put layers into my research. Is I do anti-Nicene, so before Nicaea, I show how they're all not Trinitarian. Then I show how the post-Niceans give like really bad reinterpretations, and then I
yeah,
compare that.
anti-Nicene is definitely more problematic for their doctrine because especially when you have like people that have apostolic succession from the apostles. So yeah, it's more
Yeah,
problematic.
and they're not even getting like who God is, right? But yeah, just
And not
go
on
khair
any
for coming
basis.
on.
وجزاك
Yeah,
خير. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you, increase your knowledge. Get out of here, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Rayak, I mean, so alaikum salam. All right, guys, give me 1 sec. I was just getting a phone call, so just give me like 30 seconds, inshallah. All right, guys, I'm just on the phone with Libiana. But yeah, Libiana, so I was gonna ask you, when Avery was live with us, before that, it seems like he was saying that Justin Martyr in the first apology, the quotation is the same as the manuscripts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was the quotation in the first apology? It said, "The one is good, the one who made all things."
Who's the Father? Yeah.
Exactly. Who's the Father? Because he cites Father in
And,
the
and
other.
it doesn't match the textual manuscript tradition.
It doesn't match it, and I don't know of any patristic citation that quotes it that way. Besides
Right,
Justin,
exactly.
yeah. Rather, what we have is Irenaeus, Hippolytus, Clement of Alexandria. They all quote it as Father in the heaven. Like all of them say Father in the heaven. Or the other ones that don't say in the heaven, they still say Father. Yeah.
Yeah. And as soon as me and you joined and started manifesting, started losing his mind.
He's like, "Oh, was Jesus a Muslim? What was Jesus a Muslim?"
Actually, before you and me joined, he was very comfortable talking with anybody about Justin Martyr.
That's right.
He was talking to the whole panel about Justin Martyr. As soon as you and me joined, and actually me and Dean were on the phone, and somebody sent me the live, and I'm like, Dean, we gotta go. So we hang up right away, and we go to the live, and my son was there, and he was confident talking about Justin Martyr. As soon as we came up, he started manifesting. We got the whole clip. Turned my camera on, and yeah, me and Dean are gonna be posting something each. So
Inshallah.
we'll go for that.
But yeah, bro, isn't it kind of funny how he completely shifted the topic towards Jesus and Muslim? Right? He looks so scared.
Yeah, he's like, is Jesus a Muslim? Look, y'all, is Jesus Yahweh in some sense?
In a sense.
and I told him, you know what, Avery, if you wanna talk about that, we can talk about that, because Justin Martyr believed that he was Yahweh in a lower sense. Would you like to talk about it? And he just would not engage in that. He just wouldn't engage. He started manifesting. The calls kept coming in. People started calling him. And yeah, he felt the pressure, so he ended up running. So that's going live tomorrow. It'll be posted in the morning.
Inshallah. Yeah, bro. I don't know. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna meet up the live. 1 sec. Yeah, sorry, Juan. I was just speaking to the Beyond. He's gonna come on the live. We're just gonna continue speaking on the live. Hey Dean, where do I message you on my Discord? I signed up for Patreon. You sent me a message on Patreon with your Discord name, and yeah, should be okay. So here, I'll message you first, actually. So just reply to me with your Discord name, and I'll send you the link, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair for signing up. My student of knowledge, no, bro. I am not a talib al-ilm. I would love to be. I focus on polemical stuff. That's not what you need to be a talib al-ilm. He's in a Discord server debating Thomas. Okay, there's someone in the back stage. Sorry, I didn't notice. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What's happening?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't showing the sound effect. Anyways, I'm doing good. What about you? Good.
Good, alhamdulillah. Do you have any questions?
Oh yeah, I did. So like, I was debating. Like, I was waiting to debate. I think it was Dog Logic. And in the meanwhile, like, I was listening to his debate with someone else. And like, the debate was related to the Trinity. But like, as a last ditch effort, Dog Logic just started like bringing up a verse in the Quran. Let me pull it up. You know, like the one that says Allah is on the straight path.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I thought of an answer for that, but I want to hear yours because I don't think it was good enough.
Okay, what was the verse number?
Qur- 1730, I think. Never mind. Let me search it up. Oh,
Yep, take your time.
it- Yeah, it's Surah Hud, verse 56. Let me put in private chat.
Okay, beautiful. So 1156. Have you looked at the tafsir for it?
Actually, no.
That's the verse, bro. Before you come to me, you should check the tafsir.
I saw like an article. I think it was like by Call to Monotheism or something.
Yeah. What was the response they gave?
I didn't even like read it fully.
Bro, what are you doing, bro? Bro, you have the sources there. You coming to me, bro? Come on.
No, because like the articles are so long and boring to read.
Okay, I get that. I get that. But at least read the tafsir. Like, I don't think the tafsir would be that long.
Yeah, I think he like included one tafsir, but
Here. Let's read together. Tafsir ibn Kathir. So the verse is verse 56. I have put my trust in Allah, my Lord and your Lord. There is no living creature that is not completely under his control. Surely my Lord's way is perfect justice. Okay. And we go here. صراط المستقيم. Okay. Seems like Ibn Kathir doesn't really talk about it. Seems like there's a misunderstanding of the Arabic.
because like
So
he was
because the translation here doesn't say anything that Allah's on that path.
no, yeah, but like the Arabic says Rabbi Ale, so like my Lord is upon
Yeah,
Sirat.
ba'ala doesn't just mean upon.
Yeah, but
He's
that's
with.
like
He's with. Like, you mean he's with as well. Literally, the translation says that. It says surely It says, surely my way, my Lord's way, is perfect in justice. So, yeah. But saying ala means like on the path in the sense that, oh, we're on paths. Obviously, that's different. Same thing, bro. It's the same argument they use with salah. Oh, Allah performs salah. The Prophet performed, the angels perform it, we perform it. It's the same thing. It's not. It's a different context of it being used. But I need to get you justification for that. So let me check Tafsir al-Tabari. إن ربي على صراط مستقيم. He bring people from the Salaf here. Yeah. Okay, it's not that long. Al-Tabari's Tafsir is not that long. Do you read Arabic?
I mean, a little bit.
Okay. Here, let me get it translated. And his saying, indeed, my Lord is upon a straight path, means my Lord is on the path of truth. He rewards the good doer of good among his creation for his goodness, and punishes the wrongdoer for his wrongdoing. He does not wrong anyone in the least, and accepts nothing from them except Islam and faith in him. Al-Muthanna narrated to me, Abu Hadayfa narrated to us, saying, Al-Shibl narrated to us from Ibn Abi Najih, from Mujahid, indeed, my Lord is upon a straight path, meaning he's upon the truth. Yeah, just literally just take that view. He's upon the straight path means he's upon the truth.
Yeah,
there you
but
go.
wouldn't it be like, so like the truth would be connotating like the religion, like Islam. So like, is he on the
No,
religion? Like,
no, akhi, I just read it. I just read it now. So again, indeed, and he's saying, indeed, my Lord is upon a straight path, means my Lord is on the path of truth, meaning what? Meaning he rewards the doer of good among his creation for his goodness, and punishes the wrongdoer for his wrongdoing. He does not wrong anyone in the least, and accepts nothing from them except Islam. Does that make sense? Doesn't mean he's upon Islam. Doesn't mean that he's upon like submitting. Like, come on. That's from Tafsir al-Tabari. Okay.
yeah.
Let me check Muqatil. Let's see what Muqatil says. Muqatil is the earliest tafsir. But let me read the other views from the Salaf that Tabari brings. He brings same meaning from Al-Muthanna, and then you have same meaning. Okay. He brings all four of the citations are the same meaning. So that's pretty much the only view he gives. So let me check here. Okay, so it was 1157, right?
Yeah. 56.
Or 56? 1156. Okay, so it says إن ربي على صراط المستقيم يعني على الحق. Yeah, same thing. على الحق المستقيم. He's on the truth. He's on the path of truth. Right? It's not a literal path that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on.
I mean, yeah, like I gave an answer similar to that, and then he brought up like Surah 59:23, which says like Allah is like he's the Qudus Salamun. No, I forgot. It was
Chapter. Okay, tell me the chapter and verse.
59:23. It says like he's mu'min. I think that was the
Yeah, but actually, it's not the same meaning, obviously.
Yeah, but like, how
That's
do
so
I justify that?
This, from the early tafsir, and from the fact that we know we use these terms analogically. So when I say Allah hears, does he have ears? If I say
Yeah,
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears, does he have ears like
no,
mine?
no, no,
Okay. When I say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees, does he have eyes like mine?
no. But
Okay,
like, what would
so we're saying,
mu'min correspond
yeah,
to?
Akhi, you can check the tafsirs. It's like, come on. Like would the meaning of mu'min be similar to how we are mu'mins?
No, but like it doesn't
Okay,
make
there you
sense. Like,
go.
'cause, like,
Because, akhi, there you go. So if you already know, okay. Yeah, people are saying as well, akhi, if you, like, why are you going on his channel? You give him like free content.
yeah, I mean, like I debated him on other topics, and then he had to appeal to this.
Yeah, you just tell him it's analogical language being used. It's like the Lord is my rock. Does he believe God is a rock? That's what the Bible says about God. The Lord is my rock. Do they
Really?
believe that their God is a rock? Do they believe their God is a rock?
I haven't heard of that verse.
Akhi, answer my question. Do they believe their God is a rock?
I don't know.
They don't. Of course not. So when something's said about God, there's gonna be either, yeah, this is exactly how you describe him, or some meaning is being attached to it, not entirely, right? So obviously, not everything that a rock has to mean is exhaustive to what God is when you say God is a rock. It's part of that meaning that is befitting for him. That's what they would say. Okay. So give me that verse where it says that moment thing. What was the verse number?
Surah 59:23.
59:23. Okay. He is Allah, there's no God except Him, the King, the Most Holy, the All Perfect, the Almighty, the Supreme in Might, the Majestic over it's Allah above what they. Yeah, and then هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام Okay, this one. Okay, let's check the Tabari. So تفسير الطبري. Yeah, okay. قدوس سلام 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 مؤمن. I'll get all this translated for you. So just mu'min is the term you're confused in that one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Akhi, you agree with this principle that the explicit informs our understanding of the implicit, right?
Yup.
Okay. So the way that we're mu'mins and the way that we are Muslims and the way that we are, what was the other term you said? The way that we're on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, is that going to be a way that befits Allah to be on it?
No.
Okay, so that's all you need to know. Like, we know that they can't be the same, so we have to, with the explicit verses that say Allah is not like us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can't be submitting to someone, and he can't be literally on a path that we're on. We can't be on the same path because, or on the same sort of path, it has to mean something else because we're not like Allah. So let me bring this. Okay. Al Mu'min, the believer, it means the one who grants security to his creation. There you go. Hey, akhi, did you check the tafsir for this as well?
Yeah, I saw like the security, but the thing
Okay.
is, like, what does that have to do with believing? Like, with the root word?
Oh my god. Okay. You know Arabic words, they have meaning depending on the context, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Allah performs salah, right? Is that the same way we perform salah?
No.
Okay, but what does praying have to do with with Allah doing salah? Obviously there's a different meaning, right?
Yeah, like Muhammad Hijab, he said like it's a connection or something.
Yeah, so there's particular meanings that are part of for us. So the part for us when we say we perform salah is that the connection part. But there's other parts that aren't befitting that we can assign to Allah. So obviously it's not exhaustive. When we say, oh, we perform salah, Allah performs salah, it's not the same. There's a small similarity in that, yeah, there's a connection or whatever, or whatever's gonna draw the similarity between the two. So for example, uh part of being a mu'min is one that grants security, right? But the way that Allah's a believer is that He grants security to His creation from His injustice, and this is on a level that no one's like, right? And then if you look, Qatada used to say regarding this, as narrated by Bishr, who said Yazid narrated to us saying, Sa'id narrated to us from Qatada, Al-Mu'min, he confirmed by his word that it is the truth. And then there's another one from Qatada, same thing. Ad-Dahaq, same thing. Uh, yeah, okay. So there's another opinion. It says Yunus narrated to me saying Ibn Wahab informed us saying Ibn Zayd said regarding his words, Al-Mu'min, it means the one who believes with certainty. He gave security to people through their Lord, so same opinion. So he called them believers. Likewise, the noble Lord granted them security due to their faith, confirming them by giving them that title. Okay, so there's yeah, it goes back to giving security to the believers, which would then give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that name. Right? So all of these Akhi, just ask him, can you find me one early Muslim that interprets it with the way that you do? Can you find me any early Muslim that interprets this ambiguous verse in the way that you do? He's not going to find one. But then it's stuff about Jesus not knowing the hour. All the early church, they conflict with him. So this is the difference between Islam and Christianity, akhi. Their interpretations are later interpretations. Our interpretations are grounded within the Salaf, the first generations. Yeah.
I mean, he would probably say like, granted that they're just like, in a sense, just trying to like cope with the fact that it's
Okay, let
saying
me
he
put it.
believes.
Okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Is the author of the Quran stupid according to him? Like, is he like so stupid that he would contradict himself so easily?
I don't
If he
think so.
says if he says yes, that he's just being uncharitable.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Does the author? Do you think the author of the Quran, when from his perspective at least, let's say it's not Allah subhanahu wa taala, right? From his perspective, does the author of the Quran, by his perspective, is he so dumb that he's going to do such a basic contradiction, such as Allah is a Muslim or a mu'min, the way that he's a mu'min, the way that we are mu'mins, even though Allah is omnipotent and he's omniscient and he's all these qualities? Do you think the author of the Quran would ever do that?
I mean, like, I think his argument was trying to like prove some sort of Trinity
Yeah,
instead.
again, no, again, akhi, like you're not answering my question. So I can answer my question because you're saying, oh, he could say the author of the Quran meant it this way, but the early generations didn't understand it this way, and I'm telling you that's very uncharitable because the author of the Quran himself, there's no indication that mu'min or being on the Sirat al-Mustaqim would involve deficiencies because Allah is already cleared of any deficiencies all across the Quran. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد ليس كمثله شيء. He owns all the dominions of the heavens and the earth. People submit to him. He doesn't submit to anyone. Uh, you know, he gets to decide who goes to heaven and hell. He decides who's guided and who's not. This is all across the Quran. Then he goes, oh, this one word can maybe mean something else in a different context. Come on, like, what are we doing? Okay, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Like, there was like one verse. Also, he brought this one up, and this is the final one. It said like,
Please don't tell me you're giving me another word that's attributed to Allah, that's attributed to us, and then I have to go to a tafsir again to search for you.
no, it was like similar, but it wasn't it.
Oh, come on. Okay, you can do that yourself, yeah?
No, it
Yeah?
was like the prophet was called like Rahman or something.
He's called Rahman.
Yeah.
He's called Ar-Rahman.
No, just
He's
Rahman.
called Rahman. This guy's stupid. Are you guys hearing this? Say, Wallah, he said that.
He- I think I'm
Are you sure he said the Prophet's called Rahman? How is he called that if Allah's called Ar-Rahman?
wait, cause like I went on a few lies, but I think it was Sam Shamoon. I think I can find his article right now. Prophet is.
Okay, go look for Akhi because I got some more people in the backstage, but yeah, let me know. Inshallah, all right? Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, walaikum assalam.
All right, Lucas.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I just had a question. I need help understanding something.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yeah, what's your question?
So in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah ta'ala, there's a hadith that says, whoever fasts a day in the path of Allah, then Allah distance him from the hell by a distance of 70 years. How can I, like, are there any sources or can you help me understand, like, what does it mean by a distance of 70 years? Like, how can I understand this better?
Bro, that's a very specific question. I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But what's the like why do you need to know?
I just want to try and get a deeper understanding of what I'm reading.
Right. Okay.
All right. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Hello, Dispy.
Yeah, what's up, man?
You Muslim?
Nah, I'm Christian, bro.
You believe in the Trinity?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to have an honest chat with you. I'm gonna be too long, but what do you like? What do you want me to address now? Like, what is your contention against?
Yeah. So my contention is that no church father before Nicaea taught the Trinity.
Okay, so do you believe that Christianity is just like Islam in the sense that you have to understand the Bible through
No.
like
no. So what I'm saying is, if the Bible is clear about the Trinity, you would be able to cite me one Trinitarian before Nicaea, and you can't do that.
Well, you said if the Bible is clear about the Trinity, I would be able to find you a Trinitarian.
Before Nicaea, yeah.
Someone who taught the Trinity, right? The concept of the Trinity.
Yep.
Okay, and the concept of the Trinity is that the Father, the Son.
I know the concept of the Trinity. The concept of the Trinity is that
yeah, but I just want both of us to agree because I know what the concept of the Trinity is. The concept of the Trinity to me is that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is God. That's you agree with that, right?
It's more than that. It's more than that. So
yeah, but in a nutshell, we believe that God is one in nature.
Yeah, they're one God. Okay, so let me put it this way: there are three hypostases, three persons, and one being that's one ousios. The Father, Son, Holy Spirit are distinct from each other, and they're individuated by their hypostatic properties, with the Father begetting the Son, and then the Spirit being spirated from either the Son or from the Father. That's the Trinity, right? Depends on which like for the Spirit part, it depends which denomination you belong to, right? So yeah, so my point is
so basically like exactly.
Yeah,
I heard you, brother. So basically,
yeah, so no one taught that before Nicaea, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, I heard you, but basically, yeah, I just want to make sure.
Nah, bro, your audio is cutting. Your audio is cutting, bro. You gotta fix that.
Okay, what about now?
Still staticky.
Is it better now? Or?
Still, I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back on in a sec. Okay, try to fix that. Hello, Muhammad.
Hey man, what's up?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. I had a question about actually I was reading this article about there was like claiming that I was actually trying to prove the Trinity is like about the angel of the Lord. Like yeah, that one was actually like kind of confusing me, not gonna lie.
What's confusing you?
Because I think it's in Joshua where Joshua worships the angel of the Lord, and then the angel that comes to Abraham when
he doesn't worship him. He doesn't worship him. He just prostrates to him.
Yeah, that too, and
so
the
what's
one is like
listen, Akhi.
Yeah.
There's a term for prostrate and there's a term for worship.
Yeah, that one was I think it was Josh the article was claiming. But yeah, I just wanted to yeah, I just wanted like some clarification on that. Just
Yeah, so the clarification is the early church fathers that said the angel of the Lord was Jesus. It involved
hmm
ontological deficiencies being given to the angel of the Lord. What's the reason why they had to say the angel of the Lord was God? Is because they needed not Yahweh, not the Father, to have hands and feet. They don't want God the Father to be composite. They don't want God the Father to be contained in a place because that doesn't befit God the Father. So what they do instead is they okay. So what they did instead was they said it was the Son because the Son is of a lesser ontological status. Now Christians today they'll say yeah, it's the angel of the Lord, blah 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 blah. They'll say it's Jesus. But if you ask them, is it really Jesus? Is it Jesus in there, like literally there? They'll say no. So that's in conflict with the early church. The early church would be yeah, he's literally there and he's contained. They would say it's a created medium that he uses, right? Which is obviously obviously like
hmm
where's there an indication that this is a created medium in the Old Testament? Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Um
I was yeah, sorry. You can continue, but I was just raised another point. I was actually went over some like how like Jews interpret the angel of the Lord, and I found it like they believe it
Metatron.
was like yeah, and then they
Yeah.
believe it's like a separate being because yeah, because it has to be a distinct being because it's kind of like a messenger and it's representing
Yeah,
Yahweh in a
I
sense.
don't think it's like First Kings, right? First Kings chapter 8 verse 26 to 27 or 27 to 28. Have you seen these verses?
No, but
Okay,
I would.
so Solomon says in the Old Testament,
Mhm.
like how great are you, God? Like how great are you that you can't even be contained in a temple. You're
Oh
too
yeah,
great
yeah,
for
this
that,
one, this
right?
one I heard on Libiano's channel. He's really good too on
Yeah,
that
he's
one.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's
my yeah, sorry, my
yeah,
bad, my bad. I'm sorry.
that's
Right.
okay. No, no, it's okay. It's okay. So basically, we have an idea now of what some necessary qualities to be God, like Yahweh.
hmm
And the part of that is you can't be contained in a place. So if the angel of the Lord is contained in a place, he can't be Yahweh.
That's a good. That's a really good explanation. Yeah, I didn't think of that in like in that way. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. One more question, actually. Um, So basically, it's not related to Trinity, but I was just trying to ask. So like for example, if we follow the Salaf, we have the. I just don't get like how Quran is like uncreated and eternal. I just don't get it. Okay, like this is
Yeah,
like
no, no,
this
no,
has
no
been like
worries.
a.
So actually, it's a very long discussion, but essentially
Yeah,
what you
sure,
need to
sure,
know
sure, sure.
is
Yeah, 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 for sure, no problem.
yeah. So what you need to know is that we believe it's uncreated. The reason why the Quran is uncreated, it's the
Mhm,
speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's actions are uncreated, but they're not eternal. Eternal would mean that's pre-existent. That would mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the Quran before he spoke to Angel Jibreel. Obviously, that's not the case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke at a point in time to Angel Jibreel, then Angel Jibreel spoke in time to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then also another thing, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to another uncreate. Well, let me give you an example of this, right?
mhm,
There is the attribute itself that is eternal within Allah. So there's attribute of
mhm.
speech, and then there's the action of speech, right? So the intrinsic property of speech is eternal. Allah eternally had this ability to speak. However, there's instances where he began to do this action. But even when he did this action, the origin of that action is still an uncreated being. So we describe it as uncreated, okay? Because created actions would result in a created being, okay? Now, I'll give you an example to show like this
Mhm,
distinction between uncreated and eternal. So, for example, when I pray for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Allah subhanahu wa
mhm.
ta'ala has the attribute of being merciful eternally, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But was he eternally forgiving me before I was created?
No, I don't think
No,
so
he wasn't.
because
So
yeah.
if you believe that, then you're an Athari, you're a Salafi, you're someone who holds to the Salaf's view. So that's the review, that Allah does these actions in time. There's a beginning when He starts doing them, but because the origin itself comes from Allah, an uncreated being, they're described as uncreated. And there's a distinction, as I just showed you now. Allah's
Yeah,
attribute
yeah.
of mercy, that is eternal, and Allah's action of using that attribute, which is the action of forgiving, the action of being merciful. The actions start, right? The actions start in
Mhm.
temporal beginnings, but the attribute is eternal. Uncreated for us isn't. That's another thing. Uncreated, as Ibn Taymiyyah puts it. I'll try to find you the reference later. But I
Rahmatullah.
definitely remember, rahimahullah, I definitely remember reading from Shaykh al-Islam that he says, uncreated for us doesn't mean eternal. Uncreated is something that is undetachable from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything that's inseparable from Allah, that is uncreated. Okay? And his actions, we believe, is inseparable from him. Okay? That's what we call it uncreated.
Okay, okay,
No.
okay,
So when we
okay.
say when we
Now,
say uncreated,
yeah.
yeah. So when we say
Mhm.
uncreated, we don't mean eternal. They're two different things.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, that's because last night I think Libiano was debating with someone and he was like, Quran. He said something about not he does not take it to be eternal. So that just confused me a lot. And then I was thinking about it at night. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to ask
kufr.
Dean tomorrow. And if you're discussing Shaykh al-Islam, I would just wanted to ask one more question because I've read that Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he affirmed the story of Qur'anic, the satanic story
Yeah.
because
So
that's confusing.
yes. To me, right. So first he says it's inauthentic, but then he gives an explanation. Even if it was authentic, there's no problem, right? Um, and yeah, I believe it's not problematic either. I believe that even if it's authentic, I wouldn't believe Islam is false.
Yeah, because I think all the chains are mursal or weak. I think
Yeah, the
and
almost a week, but listen, akhi, even if it's sahih, play devil's advocate right now. Why is it problematic?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Mm, because we have other like instances in the Quran. The Most High Allah Subhanahu wa Taala speaks that says that the Prophet Muhammad, like he is the one who's like guarding. So I think
Yeah, so
if
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed that He guarded it by removing the verses. That's a proof that He's
but
guarding it.
but like wouldn't like intervention, like a satanic intervention, be um like a little bit contradictory? Like that's
How?
like
How? How? You haven't justified that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guarded it by making sure that the satanic verses weren't in there anymore.
yeah, that kind of makes sense. But like
But really, akhi, they're not going to bring those stuff. Like they're going to bring. I'm talking about devil's advocate as a Christian. Christians don't care about that. Muslims will be like, oh, what about this? What about that? But Christians will be like, there's a logical problem here, right? So, for
yeah, I was
example,
actually watching this debate between brother Adnan Rashid and I think it was this, yeah, you know who I'm talking about, David Wood. That
yeah,
guy's a moron. But anyways, they had a debate and yeah, about the satanic verses, and like David was just saying that they like about 50 reports, and so this must be historical. And I like the how Adnan Rashid responded by saying that, even though there are like 50 quotations, it does not mean anything because we have more than 1,000 narrations saying that there are like 16,000 verses in the Quran, which is like not true, and no Muslim affirms this. So yeah, that kind of lot made sense. But being like, satanic verses, like I was actually debating with a guy who's like Christian, and then he's like, satanic verses and satanic verses, and then he was trying to insult our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
yeah,
and
yeah. So,
that's
so,
like,
so, akhi, you're kind of straying off. So, come back to what I was saying. A Christian would say that Qur'anic, the story of Qur'anic, is a story that would show that the message can't be trusted anymore because it can be affected by Satan, right? That's their main claim, correct?
yeah, yeah.
But the same event they're quoting shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected the message. Okay, so similar to like Dawood alayhi salam, and we know from the Quran, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a Quran, it's not a Quranic view to say that the prophets are free from mistakes. They can do mistakes. Dawood alayhi salam gave an unjust ruling unintentionally, right, to the two people that approached him in Surah Sad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I
No,
know about the story.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
forgot it,
So
but
so okay, so he gave an unjust ruling,
mm-hmm.
and he did it unintentionally. We can just say the same thing about this, where the Prophet ﷺ unintentionally recited those verses and he didn't know what was going on. The angel came back, and the Prophet was like, he was confused. He didn't know he did something wrong because he was just repeating whatever he heard, right? And the justification for this is it's on my server. Like I think I just might as well just show for my server. Um, here. So
Yeah,
on
I
my
would
server,
appreciate.
I
Yeah,
give
I'm gonna.
evidence.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into your server soon. I think it has a lot of good things. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I
Inshallah.
appreciate like a lot of your information. Really good information. And
Of course, akhi.
may Allah.
But by the way, this is the book that they cite, right, before orthodoxy, like David Wood and all of them, right?
Yeah, I know. The
Yeah,
Shahab Ahmad, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I read that whole book and I have notes on it, like here. So there's two things, akhi, two things, right? One, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing is like what I was telling you before. He literally says it here. He says the prophet is depicted as making a mistake. He didn't intentionally do it, and we believe the prophets can do unintentional mistakes as long as Allah subhanahu wa taala rectifies them after. Compare this to like Dawood alayhi salam's mistake. He did
Mm-hmm.
an unjust ruling, then Allah subhanahu wa taala made sure he was rectified, then he repented. So imagine if someone saw Dawood alayhi salam's ruling, right? And someone said, because someone might say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's meant to be an example. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is only an example when he doesn't make mistakes. When he makes mistakes, we know he makes a mistake because Allah will rectify him. That's how we ensure that that nothing that we emulate from him is a mistake. Because had it been a mistake, Allah would have corrected him. Okay, so the same thing with Dawud alayhi salam. Let's say I was living at the time of Dawud alayhi salam and I saw him do this unjust ruling, and then I say, okay, the prophet gave a ruling where he did it presumptuously, therefore I can do it as well. But wait a second, after he did this mistake, Allah immediately corrected him, and Dawood repented straight away. Same thing here. Immediately after satanic verses were recited, unintentionally, the Prophet repented, and Allah rectified him right then and there, straight away. So there's no excuse of, oh, what if blah blah blah. No,
Okay.
prophets can
And
prophets can make mistakes, and even more so, they have this problem. Christians believe prophets can preach paganism and the story of Aaron. They believe
yeah, I know
prophets.
the story of Aaron
They
where he builds the
and
golden calf.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they believe David as someone who fornicated. A'udhu billah,
With
we don't believe that,
Bathsheba, right?
obviously. Yeah, and someone that murdered someone, being David as well. They believe these people. Oh, how do you know these people didn't give you wrong information? Because God preserved the message, because God rectified their behavior. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ isn't doing anything denigrating to his character. He's making a mistake because he thought Angel Jibreel was reciting, but it was Satan. So that's why I'm telling you, even if it's authentic,
Mm-hmm.
it's no problem. It's no problem because look what he says. And none of the above reports is Muhammad ﷺ presented as deliberately doing something that he knows to be against the terms of the prophetic mission. Rather, Muhammad ﷺ is portrayed as being under pressure, confused, and unaware of the import of his act. This is driven home by the correction response. And those reports where Jibreel corrects the Prophet ﷺ is Rawaya 1, 2, 3, like about 20. It is evident that the Prophet ﷺ is not aware of having done anything wrong until he's corrected. So it's not intentional, okay? They believe prophets do major sins intentionally. And then here's Ibn Taymiyyah's quote saying it's a fabrication as well. Minhaj al-Sunnah Nabawiyya, Ibn Taymiyyah, volume 2, page 409, 410. But
Mm-hmm.
He also gives a response despite him saying it's inauthentic. There's one more thing I was gonna quote from here. Oh, I didn't put it. My bad, my bad. Okay. I'm gonna link a video akhi where there's a quote from this book that
Mm-hmm.
says, and this goes back to your first point about the 50 reports. At the very ending of this book, the paragraph he says is, there's no reason to think that a Muslim couldn't have fabricated the story. The author of this book says this.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. So
Also, because I don't know, but like I also read Sean Anthony's work though on like
Yeah, he says it's not authentic either. Yeah.
yeah, but and I know his work was like more focused on how it was received in Shia circles about the this like most of the early Shia like scholars they rejected it and they said, and I think there was even quote by um Imam Jafar, he explicitly rejected it and like he said Prophet did not say that. So I think um I mean I did not find it like it was it's like there's sometimes doubts and everything, but yeah, I think it's not historically
But أخي, granted to them. Like, can you think of anything that from what I've showed you so far? What can
yeah,
they
that's
say
really
despite granting
yeah,
it?
that's really good explanation. Also, one more thing, just last thing. My bad. My like this is last thing.
Yeah, it's okay. No problem.
Yeah. So I'm like really active on X, and I've been seeing like these posts like made by like critics of hadith, like Joshua and
Yeah.
everything, and they're like like yeah. Did you see his video about 21 reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just like now when I'm approaching a hadith, I'm always like, if I'm even if I'm like this, like if I'm in Sahih Bukhari, I'm like first of all, I see if there's like multiple isnad or anything. This like kind of crept into my mind, like the criticism of hadith, and I just want to like remove the
Yeah,
doubts.
but he's like just ultra skeptical. He's just ultra skeptical for no reason. Like, okay, his 21 reasons as well. It's quite deceptive because he even said like the first 10 reasons aren't really reasons; they're just things to consider. If you remember, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Farid has a whole video talking about the stuff he brought,
Yeah,
and
I watched this video. It was a good video, and some of the points he couldn't
any
really
any
like.
any anything you think that wasn't sufficiently responded by Farid. If you didn't go into detail on something that you wanted to go more detail in, send it to me. I have a brother that he specializes. He reads these scholarships and he works on these things. So inshallah, just let me know on the Discord.
Yeah, and then one more. Like regarding this only. I think I was like on. There was like this person who put like around like more than 40 instances where like a hadith is like almost identical to something from the Talmud or Jewish writings, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. So
they
is that the one with the rain?
is that the one with the who? My bad.
Is it with rain?
Rain.
Yeah. Oh, what does it say? What's the content?
I think
I'm
it's
gonna
like
know it.
yeah, one of them is the rain. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was somewhat by I think yeah, it was like someone named Hadith Works. I think.
Yeah, these things, anything you see recent on X or recent on, we talk about it on the server. So like,
Oh, okay.
one someone brought it. Um,
Mhm.
actually, brother proving Islam. He sent something really good. After I show you this, I'll show you what you know
Sure, sure.
proving Islam is, right, on Twitter, because you're on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I follow Proving Islam, and I think I follow this two other guys, and they actively engage with that that Mushrik Gabriel. Man, he's a cop. Anyways,
Yeah. Just give me a second.
for sure.
All right, here we go. So first, I want to show you this. So basically, David Wood. I don't know if he said it in the Adnan Rashid debate as well, but he said that, like, he mentions how it's the criteria. You know what the criteria of embarrassment is, right? It's a very basic historical thing, like
Yeah, I
method.
know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
someone like like prophets, like the people would not make an embarrassing statement about the prophet. It wasn't true.
yeah, exactly, because that would just harm their own cause, right? So
Yeah.
that's a criterion of embarrassment. First of all, there's academics that say it's very weak because you're assuming the intentions of the person. You're not in his shoes to know what's embarrassing, what's not, right?
Yeah, and I think
Um,
one of those I was on. There's this. I think you know him, Dr. Ali Atai, and he was discussing this
yep.
on his too, and he's like, um, why are you applying only the criteria of embarrassment to a Muslim? Because even I think there's a gospel I forgot the infancy gospel of Thomas, I think, where Jesus
Yeah.
going around and killing babies when he was a child, and so
Yeah,
obviously these were Christians
there's
too.
even munafiqeen. There's even munafiqeen. So, Like, yeah. So even people that would say they're Muslim, people that are munafiqeen, they would want to say something embarrassing. Regardless, he
And
uses it,
also,
and then go
I
ahead.
mean, we both know that hadiths were being forged. Yeah, I'm sorry, my mom was calling me. Anyways, I think there was like we both know that there were a lot of hadiths forged, and that's the reason why we have we have the like our scholars did the critic on hadiths in the first place, because a lot of like people are trying to make their own versions of context to the Quranic verses, and yeah, it was to filter through these which one was the actual one. And yeah, and also I think because the Satanic verses comes in like Tabari and I forgot the other one,
Ibn
but
Ishaq, yeah.
it's basically, I think, isn't Ibn Ishaq's original work lost? I'm pretty sure it is, right?
Yeah, but in his seerah, in the recension that we have, he mentions the story.
So
But listen, Akhi, this part he brings up the criteria of embarrassment. I refute it, and then I show
mhm.
from the book itself. The book itself says these Orientalists that are using this principle, they're basically cooked. He's like, nah, it doesn't make sense. So what's this?
When Muhammad said, "I've fabricated things against God and have imputed to him things which he has not spoken," I totally believe him there. It's called the principle of embarrassment. Why would Muhammad say that if it weren't true?
The criteria of embarrassment does not work here, David, because the early Muslim perception of this wasn't that it was embarrassing. They viewed the prophets as fallible and able to commit mistakes as long as God rectifies it immediately after. This is actually what the book says that David will eventually reference.
Can you prove it, Sahih?
Actually,
Yeah, so let's read that. So his whole thing is early tafsirs and
Mhm.
early Muslims, they didn't actually find this problematic, even though it is weak. Had it been authentic, early Muslims were like, yeah,
Yeah, it
like
is very weak.
there's no
I
big
know
deal.
that.
Yeah. So it says here, which is precisely the question that we have to not to answer. This is the last paragraph of his book, actually. Did the incident actually take place? In light of the fact that the Muslim community of the first 2 centuries of Islam overwhelmingly accepted the historicity of the Satanic verses incident, it is hard to see how it could have been fabricated and introduced into Muslim discourse by early enemies of Islam, as Islamic orthodoxy has argued. Orientalists have insisted that Muslims could not have possibly invented such an inconspicuous story. We have seen, however, that early Muslims did not view the Satanic verses incident as objectionable, or even as merely unobjectionable, but rather that the incident is illustrative of the standard understanding of Muhammad's prophethood among early Muslims. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There is presumably no reason, therefore, why they could not have made it up. So his whole book is actually showing the Muslims didn't find it embarrassing. So the criteria of embarrassment doesn't work. So it's possible a Muslim forged it. That was his argument. So even people that cite this book, akhi, I don't know if anyone that's actually read it to refute them like this, but alhamdulillah, I personally did it. So yeah, hopefully
Mhm.
that benefits you in your future discussions on this topic.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Also, like these were kind of like lingering on my mind for a little bit, but I was like, I knew you were gonna respond to it. So thank you so much. May Allah bless you, and I think may Allah accept all our prayers in this Ramadan. And shortly I'll be joining your Discord. I think, yeah.
Inshallah.
Also,
How old are you, akhi?
how do I get into Discord? How do I pay?
Okay, so you go on Patreon, my link in my description, and then you subscribe for
Okay.
$7 a month. Yeah, that
Mhm.
option. And then what happens is you send me your Discord name on Patreon, and then I'll reply to you with the Discord link. Yeah,
Okay, and then we can ask questions, right? If like on the Discord, right?
of course. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, man. Have
and
a
no,
nice day.
no
This
worries. And
after is gonna be
how
really.
old are you?
I'm almost 19. How about you?
Almost 22. You sound very young. MashaAllah.
No, I'm just
Okay.
trying to defend my religion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah all bless us.
I started around your age. I think I started your age in getting into these polemical stuff. So, inshallah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also I think the Trinitarian argument that Libiano and you both pose is, I think that is the best argument, because if they say there's a apostolic tradition and that from John to Irenaeus they had a tradition, so why wouldn't like there be Trinity taught? Like, why wasn't they teaching Trinity like in the sense that they say it is today? And then it just kind of confused me. And then this Christian, I think, trying to say no, he just lost all the arguments, right? And then he points me to a alleged appearance of I think it was something called Zetuna, the Lady of Zetuna. I think it occurred in Egypt, something. And I was like, man, this is the worst argument, because I can show you like hundreds of saints in Islam who literally resurrected people we have contemporary accounts of. I don't think that's like, so basically his contention was that in Egypt there was like this appearance of Mary, um, alayhi salam, and she appeared on top of I think a Coptic church, and then he was showing me all the newspaper articles about it, and like, this is you say Mary's with you, but Mary's is on the top of a church. Man, I was like, this is the kind of like the weakest argument that you could actually ever pose, man.
Mhm.
Actually,
But yeah, akhi, yeah.
I've actually seen people that if talk about miracles, I've seen people like we literally sometimes uncovered graves back in my country. We sometimes, because of water logging and everything, and a
Yeah.
grave like 20, 25 years, 30 years, and we know pious people, so, and they're like literally intact, like they were buried yesterday, like they were buried like 1 hour before. And then I don't think this kind of argument is like proves religion at all, but just confusing.
All right. Okay. Take care, akhi. Speak to you soon, inshallah.
You too. May Allah bless you, man.
Assalamu alaikum. May Allah bless you too. Yunus, assalamu alaikum. You are very low. Let me put your mic up. I got you. Speak down.
Hello.
Speak now.
Hello.
Yep, that's better. Go ahead.
I just had a quick question about how do you answer somebody who, when you're talking to them about Tertullian and how he says like
One second. Okay, your mic just got loud out of nowhere. Okay,
yeah,
speak
my
now.
mic is broken.
Okay.
How do you
Yep.
answer someone who, when you say like Tertullian wasn't like a Trinitarian because he believes that the Son didn't exist, but like
And then they say, oh, it's just a title. Is that what they say?
yeah, like he existed prior,
Yeah.
just he wasn't like he existed
Yeah.
as his
So
reason.
why? So what make? Yeah. So when he existed as reason, was he begotten at that time?
No, he wouldn't have been because he
Okay. So how is the Son eternal if he's not begotten eternally for Tertullian?
So his begottenness is like how he gets his personhood.
Well, that's what they believe, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
a really bad argument then. Right?
Yeah. This is like stuff Sam makes up because he's just stupid. He's the same guy that thinks like passable means you can pass away. Impassable means you don't pass away.
That's,
Okay. He doesn't even know the terms being used and he's trying to interpret them. Well, there's other things actually. There's not just that. Like, can a Trinitarian say that the Son's a portion of the substance of God rather than the whole substance?
No.
Tertullian says that. Can someone say that the only true good is the Father in Mark 10:18 and still be a Trinitarian?
No, you can't say that. No.
He says that too. Can someone say that no one's uncreated but the Father? And he says no one else is uncreated besides the Father. Can any Trinitarian say that?
No.
Can a Trinitarian say that Jesus literally did not know the hour?
No.
Okay, he says all these things. Actually, the one I just told you now is a recent one that I found. The brother sent me it. So this is another good thing with the server. Now
Like
I've
he's
encouraged
ignorant.
I've never seen someone bring this. I actually didn't see this when I was. I didn't notice it when I was reading. Usually when I read, I don't read word for word. I skim. Like I'm like, okay, what's relevant, and I skim. I didn't notice this one. And against Praxius, he's another early attestation for us for literally not knowing. Like Jesus literally didn't know, so he doesn't qualify the human nature here either. So he says, he is also ignorant of the last day and hour, which is known to the Father only. And okay, like Does he have any qualifier here that the Holy Spirit knows? He
No.
doesn't. So, how's he a Trinitarian, bro? Come on.
Yeah, he's just. I was rewatching the debate with Achille Libiano and the
Avery.
clown, and bro, I saw, I was on TikTok and I saw him like being a track star today, and it was insane. I've never seen someone run faster, bro. It was crazy. As soon as you two joined, it was just an instant 100-meter race. I don't know.
Oh, today. You talking about
Yeah, yeah.
today? Yeah, I'm gonna upload that though. That's so funny.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
So you know what happened now? Maybe there's gonna be a debate, but I have to put my camera on. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for if this debate goes through. Obviously, I am like this is like an opportunity I can't miss.
Mhm.
So me, Libiano against William and Sam, maybe, or Sam and someone. I don't know who's gonna get. So
Yeah, you have to do that, man. I was like, you gotta do that, man. Yeah,
I'll make the PowerPoint already as well. There's stuff Libiano knows I don't know. The stuff I know Libiano doesn't know. And if we combine both our knowledge and make a nice big PowerPoint, they're cooked.
Yeah, that'd be really fun to watch.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have my camera on, so people are gonna want that as well. Okay, so this brother said, "Are all the channels in the Discord like misconceptions in the Quran, church fathers, Old Testament prophecies about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam already written and available? No, they're in the process of being written. So there's maybe 5-10% of it's been written, but all of them will be written, inshallah. I'll project like the next month or two, inshallah. The church father stuff, not knowing Nicaea, they're almost all written. There's only like a couple I still have to write. So let me show that actually. So we have Justin Martyr, Ignatius, Irenaeus, Polycarp, Clement of Rome, Tertullian, Origen, Eusebius, Theophilus, Athenagoras, the Holy Spirit being a power. All these I've done. All of these are done. But then 1 second. Okay, but then Hippolytus I still need to work on. Clement of Alexandria I'm almost done. I have a bunch of stuff on him, but I still want to add a bit more. Gregory the Wonder Worker is pretty much done. Just gotta have to say it's a forgery. Like whatever quote they bring from him is a forgery. And then these four or these five, these five: Novatian, Cyprian, the Didache, Melito of Sardis, and Tatian. These five I still need to write. So, inshallah, this will be done in the next couple of weeks. But then you have these stuff like maybe I think only No More Khusro has been added only. For this one, I think only the camel urine one is done, but they're done in detail, right? They're not just like done with a couple messages. Then these ones: Satanic verses, Apostate Scribe, Islamic Dilemma, Allah Deceives, What's the Injil, the Prophet's Aorta being severed, Quran 65:4, 434. All of these I've done. We've done in detail. Then the rest is still yet to be done, inshallah. This is done. John the Baptist prophecy, that's done in the New Testament. Paraclete prophecy, it's been added to but not done. And then for these prophecies in the Old Testament, we've only done Psalm 72. I showed it in a different live, so it's fine if I show now. So this is how much we've added for it. So Psalm 72 was done. And then we did Isaiah 21. Yeah, so we did Isaiah 21 as well. But I'm not going to show the whole thing for that. I'm going to leave that for the server.
You also have like sources for like learning as well, like books for Aqidah and stuff like that as well. So it's really good.
Books for Aqidah and stuff, that's good for that as well. And also there's weekly stuff I do. Inshallah, I'm going to get someone who's a Hafiz and fluent in Arabic. He's a brother I know that's on the server. Inshallah, he's going to be doing Arabic lessons on, I think it was Monday and Tuesday, he said. So I'm still getting that organized, inshallah. Besides that, on Thursday, I go live, which is today. I go live on Discord for an hour for people to come on and open panel. And then, because I'm not going to be doing daily lives anymore after Ramadan on YouTube. And then on Friday, which is tomorrow, we have a Hafiz that comes on to teach Quran, pronunciation, tajweed. And on Saturday, we have polemical lessons that we schedule monthly. Get guests on, okay? But yeah, Yeah, Akhi Yunus, how are you finding the server? Like,
Oh,
honestly.
I'm on it every single day. Honestly, I just go through especially because I feel like I joined the server more like not to like dismantle Christianity, and like it's gone to it because it's kind of interesting to learn about like other religions, but I joined it mainly to learn about my religion because like I moved away from my home country at a younger age, so I didn't have like the same opportunities to learn like at a younger age. So like I'm a little bit behind, so I'm like learning so much like at such a fast pace right now, and this has helped me so much.
Alhamdulillah, it's good.
Thank
It's
you.
good to hear. And okay,
Just
Jazakallah khair for getting on. Do you have any more
yeah,
questions?
just one quick question:
No,
could we say Yahweh is one of the names that like for God?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, that
Okay.
was all.
I'm gonna add something into the server, inshallah, a channel on how some people justify that. They say, oh, maybe not Yahweh, maybe just Yah. Like, you know how, because Yahya's name literally has like part of the tetragrammaton, which is Yah. So people make that argument. They say, yeah, maybe Yahweh is a derivative. It's this type of combination of Yah that maybe isn't authentic, but some form of it is authentic that's just lost. But all we know is that, for example, the prophet, sorry, not the prophet. Well, yeah, the Prophet ﷺ recited in the Quran parts like in the Quran calls Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Hayy, al-Hayyul Qayyum. Al-Hayy is very similar to Yahya that has Yahweh, right? So that's a very interesting discussion. I'm going to add it, inshallah, to the server, like this whole thing.
All right, that's all. Thank you, Akhi, so much. Jazakallah khair.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, Jose, I'm gonna get you on, okay? Hello? Okay, Jose, I need to put on your camera, bro. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but yeah, you could say that, but at the same time maintain. You can say the name Yahweh is forged, but a part of the name isn't, right? And a part of the name would be Yah, which is like Al Hayy, which might have been the original name that was distorted into Yahweh. Okay. Okay, Jose, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, but that's not funny. What are you, like 12 years old? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. This brother.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Oh, there you are. How you been, Ahmed?
Oh, okay. You have me covered, so I didn't know I was up. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, Akhi? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, alhamdulillah. Yourself?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
It's good.
You come on at the best time for me.
What is it, like 3 a.m.?
No, it's just after sahur for me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming on to 6:30 for me right now. But yeah, at least for Ramadan, you come on at the best time for me. But I saw DeAndre on earlier, and then I was talking to DeAndre, and there was an angle that I was cooking up with DeAndre. It was like, "Yo, what do you think of this?" He's like, "That's interesting." I was like,
What was it on?
I was like, "It's about patristics and the early church."
Oh yeah, let me know.
So, because me and DeAndre are planning a series, and it's based upon a video I had done earlier. But then the question I asked DeAndre, which he said that I should in turn ask you, is that one of the things you love talking about is, of course, the ambiguity in the identity or the divine identity of Christ. In like Ignatius and Justin and Polycarp and the early church. So what I was wondering is that, do you have that same kind of ambiguity? Because you definitely have that ambiguity in the text, regarding the formula for salvation. And I was wondering if you have that same ambiguity in the early church regarding the formula for salvation.
I haven't looked too deeply on that aspect, but to be honest, the best things to watch for that would probably be their discussions with each other, bro. Like Catholics debating with Protestants, and them bringing up the church, and I think that would be good sources, like watching them debate and then seeing, oh, this church father said this church father said that. But personally, I haven't. When it comes to like, but like definitely like they never had a perception, from what I've seen at least, from what I know. Now I haven't done deep research on this. It seems like early on, and this is an argument you can maybe make against Protestants. Like, I think early on they always had the idea that you need to do works for like salvation. But later on, Protestants, they detached that. But I haven't read deeply, because the books that would really expand on that aren't really books I'll be interested in that they're writing, or the sections where they write on that I'll be skipping over. Like, I don't care about that, Yeah, but definitely if someone's interested in that, you could probably do something with that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So
yeah,
okay, I get what you mean. So you're very much about, or rather, you're very focused upon that claim of divinity.
Yeah. Anything, if I see them talking about, this is how you wear your sandals, this is how you put on the. Some of them even talk about putting on a hijab, bro. Like, they literally talk about veiling. Like, if they talk about stuff like that, like, I just skip over.
Yeah, that's fair. It's
quicker. Like, I'm a one-man team for that. Like, I can't be reading all of that. It's too much.
Maybe later if you decide to expand onto things, but right now I think obviously when you have a strong point, you want to get to the exhaustive point for that point. So yeah, I completely understand that.
But even if I'm done like with the Ante-Nicene Fathers, I was speaking to DeAndre about it before. What I might do is, if I do keep reading about the Fathers, I'll be reading about post-Nicene Fathers and how they have ad hoc reinterpretations of the text. Like, before, we're looking at Basil interpreted Mark 13:32 being, if the Father didn't know, then Jesus wouldn't have known. That's how he interprets it. Which is like so.
Where do you stand on Markian versus Matthewian priority? Because the early church, there is a disparity in that in the early church, isn't there?
Yeah. I still think Mark's earlier. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are a number of sources in the early church which refer to writings of Matthew in Hebrew.
That's right. Yeah.
But
that's from that's from Papias. Yeah, Papias says that.
Papias, yes, I believe it is from Papias. And although that's an interesting point, because then at the same time you have to kind of factor in the Q source into it as well.
Yep, definitely. And then there's like this whole thing about Marcion, and that's a big discussion as well. I think it's convincing because like no one really cites the Gospels first century.
They don't, and it's funny you bring up Marcion, because I remember like very loosely having this conversation with Wissam.
Yep.
And he loves talking about quote unquote Marcionic scholarship. At first I was just like, I was like, what, Marcionic scholarship? He's like, bro, anyone who takes an academic interest in scholarship from the lens of Marcion, it's something you can't unsee. I was like, okay, that's a whole other kettle of fish then. That's just subhanAllah.
Yeah. The thing is that needs like for example, you know how like guys in the past have used the early church fathers not being Trinitarian in the past, but they've never made it so palatable to the point that like me and Nibiano have made it like mainstream. Like, damn, like people are actually absorbing the information and taking it in and actually reading the sources now. and it's never been palatable in this way. I think the only thing we might have had was like brother Jake's 7-hour lecture, but no one's gonna watch a 7-hour lecture.
That's not palatable. I mean, you need a hell of a palate for that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then more than that, what I try to do is to make it more palatable is rather than doing a 7-hour lecture, we do like little arguments. And then those little arguments also involve particular verses that we usually use anyways. So for example, Mark 10:18, then I do the whole thing about the church fathers, and then I give justification from the text, from the manuscripts, and then you make a good case there. But I would never go up to someone and say, by the way, this reference, that reference, this reference, that reference, and I source like 10 references about Justin Martyr, and I say, there you go, he's not a Trinitarian. I wouldn't do that because it's not digestible for like a layman.
Bite size.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but what I might do is a power, because me and Libiano might be debating Sam, and
I heard that. I heard that. Oh, that would be nuts. That you I really hope that comes through, because Dean face reveal into debate with Sam, that's like that's just gonna slap, inshallah, if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one really that. Is there anyone else really that would be a bigger of a debate for me to engage in with Libiano? Like Sam's probably the biggest, like, that would be on this topic. So this would be
In regards to exposure, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to actual,
they don't have anyone. Akhi, they literally have no one. I think Sam's the only person that actually attempts to write on these things.
Attempts being the key word, and not very well. I mean,
yeah, he just writes. He literally, all he does is, oh my God, Irenaeus calls Jesus God, the Trinity. It's a Trinity. And then literally that's all of his article is just Arianism calling Jesus God, and it's capital, and he's highlighting, and he's like, look, God, and Jesus pre-existed, and Jesus created everything. The Father created everything through Jesus. Like, how can he be God? But then he ignores like the not knowing the hour, being the Father being the only good, and all these other things that Irenaeus says.
Yeah. It's the same viral infection that they all have. And I was talking to someone, and someone used a reference about that movie that came out, the zombie one, World War Z. I don't know if you ever watched that. and what I told him, I said, you know what that immediately made me think of? It's like the Trinity is like that Pauline viral infection that's been transferred throughout the ages genetically, and you just can't read it the same way if you don't have that infection. I mean, astaghfirullah, I mean, it's just...
Chris Claus is not a scholar. What are you talking about? What credentials does he have? He'll get smashed harder than Sam on this.
That's like saying Wes Huff is a scholar. I mean, hello? No, definitely not. I mean, it's also funny for me when people throw around names like Chris Claus or Wes Huff, and they're like, "Oh, go listen to Wes Huff. He's a scholar." I'm like, "No, he's not. What? In which world?" It's just ridiculous. It's just utterly ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, what are the odds of this debate actually, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the odds of it happening?
I'm not sure. Libiano just told me before. It was so early stages, but I told him, he told me, if you're gonna do it, bro, you have to show your face. And I was like, yeah, bro, like, if we get it, then I'll do it. Like, I'll show my face. I don't care.
For a good cause.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it for the girls, yeah.
But Sabano, which platform would you use though?
Yeah, that's a good question. See, that's like early stages. Like, I want to make sure all this is right. Like, we're not gonna do it on a Christian platform.
Yeah. I mean, if I hear the words "fresh and fit" again, I might just end up breaking my fast, man.
Dean, what was? Sorry, 1 sec. Dean, what was time period you think Injil lasted for? I don't know, and I don't care. By the way, the parts of the Injil are still in the Gospels, so I don't hold
True.
to the view. I don't hold to the view that it's a completely different book that hasn't been preserved. That's a valid position, but I don't take that position. Okay, let me.
And
Sorry, I need to get some other people on, but yeah, you can.
inshallah. Inshallah. Okay, Jazakumullah khair.
No, you
And,
can say what you're gonna say though. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It was just a random thought. But inshallah, I'll drop you a line if something pops into my head. Thanks for
Sounds
having
good.
me on. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallah feek.
Assalamu alaikum. Good brother. Hello, Baba.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, Nick.
Wa alaikum salam.
How you doing, bro?
Doing good, alhamdulillah. What about you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. I almost fell asleep, and then I heard Yo Baba, so I'm awake again. I got a quick question, man, but it's not regarding the Trinity, so...
Amanda, he can come here. It's an open panel. Yeah, go ahead.
I was having a discussion with a Christian colleague of mine about our prophet and Islam being in the Old Testament, and I brought up Genesis 17:20.
I don't use that. I don't use that. I wouldn't know.
Okay. Okay, then my question wouldn't make sense.
I was actually about to read. I was literally about to read about that yesterday, but yeah, I haven't read on it yet.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, it says something about making Ishmael a great nation. So that will apply to Islam, of course, because our prophet's lineage goes back to Ishmael. But then after it says, "But my covenant I will establish with Isaac." So he claims that it couldn't be our prophet because the prophet will be an Israelite. And
Yeah,
not
so the covenant is conditional, and then they broke those conditions in the very end when they tried to kill Isa alayhi salam after killing prophets, etc. Then the covenant was shifted to the Ishmaelites. That's from what I know.
All right. Okay. No, thank you.
The covenant was never meant to be definite. It was always meant to be conditional on them being good. Yeah.
Does it? Yeah. Since you haven't read about it, it wouldn't make sense of me asking if it says that in Genesis. But I'll wait.
I think yeah. So from what I remember, obviously, yeah, like you said, you can't be asking me because I don't have them on hand. I won't be able to substantiate it. But from what I've heard, at least from those brothers that have studied it, it's the covenant is always portrayed as something that's conditional. But yeah, you just have to wait. Inshallah, are you on the server, Akhi?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I was literally reading yesterday, and I was gonna add that prophecy as the next one if I was convinced by it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, bro. I won't take much of your time then.
No, assalamu alaikum. Okay. Amanda, you can literally come up. We can have a conversation now. If you've watched those debates, you believe there's a Trinitarian before Nicaea, you're more than welcome to come up. Or you can copy and paste the link and he can come here. Either way, it's fine. Like, what is the difference between Arianism and subordinationism? Pretty much the same. Jack the Muslim metaphysician. All right, guys. Inshallah, I'm gonna end the live here. Okay. So in a couple of days left, of me going live like this, and then no more daily lives. Try to go live a couple times a week. Okay, there's no guests coming up, so I'll end it here. Yusuf, if you're on the server, it's all on the server. Oh, even better, the Muslim physician now. Jake, the Muslim physician. Might as well just make it Jack the physicist. All right, guys. Assalamu alaikum.